Hello and welcome, Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. I am Susan Sparks of ASAP Writing Services and want to share with you today some helpful tips to get your marketing message a little more dialed in. I know right now things are confusing for all of us. A lot of people's businesses are changing. Some of you may really be noticing a drop in business, so I want to be sensitive to that. But I think during this time, it's also helpful to kind of look at your marketing message. This may give you that kind of breathing room to sit back and assess what's going on and how you can make it better. So I had some slides. I was trying to screen share. It's not quite working, but anyway, I'll just kind of dive right in. But I might call this Model Your Message After Grandma's Remote. And I don't know if you can see that picture, but we've all seen the memes of the remote, you know, where it's all taped over and it's like just the on and the off button and maybe the volume and that type of thing. And it's, I fixed Grandma's remote. And so it's really kind of humorous, but it's a great visual representation of what your marketing message should be. And I'll give you an example. So let's say Grandma comes to her grandchild and she knows that he knows absolutely everything about computers and she wants to get one and help her pick it out. And so he's so excited because this is his thing. And so he's talking, you know, RAM and gig and all this kind of stuff. Just, you're going to need this and this and this, till her eyes glaze over and she's like, whoa, that's too much, never mind. Well, then maybe grandchild number 2 is listening and says, you know, I know exactly what you want. You know, you want to be able to go online, you want to do some video chats, maybe surf the web, whatever, and comes up with a much simpler approach, to which she says, that's great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So we need to think about this in our marketing message, because as entrepreneurs and business owners, we are so excited about what we have and what we want to share that we just overload people with, you know, everything that we could do and how great it is and that sort of thing. And so pretty soon, like Grandma, we're going, whoa, that's a little too much. So if your conversion is not where you think it ought to be, I just want to walk you through a couple steps of what can be helpful for you. Because we all face the same challenge. You know, we want to get our message noticed. There's a lot of noise. And even especially right now, with so many people working from home, so many things are being pitched, it's in one way noisier than ever. And then how do you get your prospect to take action? Because now we've got some other hesitancy and maybe some fear in there. So it's going to be a little tougher to make that connection and maybe get them to take action. So let's first diagnose your message. We're going to look at 3 different things. Is it all about you? Is it vague or rambling or confusing? And number 3, is it everything you do and how you do it? Okay, so first let's talk about whether it's all about you. You know, that's our natural default mode. If we are at a networking event or meeting someone online or whatever, we tend to just default to, well, you know, I. You know, I've been in business 20 years, or I'm an award-winning high-dollar realtor, or whatever type of background that we have. And pretty soon we've talked all about ourselves, and the listener is starting to feel like that person that got cornered by the weird guy at the cocktail party who's just talking about himself all the time, and we're looking for an escape, and we haven't really heard anything that really speaks to us. And so that's how our message comes across a lot of times. So we need to flip that and not make it all about I, but talk to what the listener is looking for. And I'll go into a little bit more detail with that. Then there's if you're vague or rambling or just confusing. So there are some people that they don't really know how to quite describe what they do, and so they just come up with this broad term of, you know, achieve a better life or enhance your health, or maybe they've got so many different businesses that it all comes out, you know, car wash products and bookkeeping and essential oils, and you don't really know what that person does or what they have to offer. So we're going to make sure that our message isn't too confusing. And this is important because, remember, the listener is always thinking, what's in it for me? And so if we go on and on about all the cool things we have rather than what they're really wanting, pretty soon they're not going to be listening or reading or wanting to take that next step with you. And that's a lot of times because we get so excited, again, about what we have and what we offer, that that's what we lead with. And so I call that talking about the thing, how you do the thing, not what it is that they're getting. So just remember to lead with the benefits. So I'm going to pick on people that are like in the wellness field, coaches and that sort of thing. And so they go on about, it's a great shake or a supplement or an essential oil. And as the prospect, that's not the words I'm using. I want to know, how can I sleep all night without waking up at 3 o'clock? Or how can I lose 10 pounds and still eat pizza? Those are the words that your prospect is using. And so instead of talking about that thing you do, you need to talk about what the benefit is to them. So if you want to sleep better at night, or you want to be able to eat whatever food you want and still be in great shape, now you've got your prospects' wheels turning. And they're going, yeah, I want to know more. The other part about being too overloading with your message is we want to take them from 0 to 60 most of the time, and that's not how that works either. So using your message to make it easy to kind of start that conversation so that they want to hear more is important. And so that leads me to the last point is fire hose versus garden hose. And again, we're so excited, we have all this stuff we want to share, and a lot of times it's like, here's my checklist, and oh, here's a tip sheet, and I've got a free 367-page ebook, and oh, here's 17 hours of summit recordings, and here's all my articles back to 1997 or whatever. And we think we're being helpful, and we are, but again, like Grandma's remote, she doesn't know what half those buttons are, doesn't care, probably will never use them. And the same thing is going to go for your prospect. When they have all this stuff to choose from, their eyes are going to glaze over. You've given them too many options, and so then they don't make a decision. So the first thing to do is go narrow. And again, I know that's so scary for people. They're like, oh, but what if, I can help women that are 20, I can help women that are 45 and divorced, I can help women that are 63 and, their skin's crepey or whatever. We get too afraid to really dial into what it is that we offer. And so then again, our message is too broad. It doesn't resonate with anybody. And again, we kind of listen and go, okay, that's nice. And then off we go to something else. So don't be afraid to go narrow. If you're that mom of 2 toddlers and you can't sleep all night, here's how we can help you. Not, anybody. I know there's a person, I won't pick on them too badly, but they sell skincare products, and they say, well, my client's anyone with skin. And it's funny, and we kind of laugh, but, okay, so, but I'm not compelled to do anything. So make sure that you go as narrow as you possibly can. Second, you want to be very specific. Again, the less thinking you make your listener or your reader do, the better your odds that they're going to keep that relationship going. If you're vague, if you ramble, if you don't come right out and say what things are, they're going to feel hesitant, they're going to feel skeptical. And so why do you want to create more barriers? You want to break those down. So as frank as you can be, use simple language. Again, use that language that your prospect is using. They're not saying, oh, I need an essential oil. They're saying, I want to sleep at night. So remember, it's not what you think they need, it's saying what they need and using those same words. And then you want to use one point or outcome each time. So again, don't start talking about sleeping all night and then, oh, by the way, you'll have more energy to go on a run, and then you can still eat this or that. Keep that focus narrow. Again, this is not a one and done conversation. You are leading them along. So address one thing, really talk about the benefits, and don't get all wrapped up in all these other extra things that are just so cool that you can't wait to share. Remember, if you go narrow, that reduces that hesitance, and our need to feel that we are fully informed is extremely high. And that goes up when the product or service is complicated or expensive. We really want to know everything about it that we can. And the other kind of part of human nature is we don't want to appear naive or stupid. So if you're using buzzwords or jargon, or just, again, being so vague that the prospect or the reader is thinking, well, I'm not really sure what that means, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to ask. They're going to just kind of keep that to themselves, and you've unknowingly created this barrier that they may not want to go on with you. So simplify things, reduce that hesitancy and the skepticism as much as you can. So grandma's remote plan, if you can keep that visual in mind, remember to go narrow. Don't talk to everybody, talk to one person. And believe me, that draws in the fringe as well, because they hear that message and they know it's very, very targeted. While you may not be specifically, let's say you have a product for women, there may be a man that hears that same one and wants to purchase that for his spouse, or you might be a coach that specifically works with women, but yet that message still resonates with men too. So, don't be afraid. The more narrow you can be, the more specific you can be, the better. Remember, don't name everything you do right at once. Garden hose, not fire hose. You want to remember this is not a one and done conversation. You're just starting a relationship so that you can get to know them. And as they want to know more and go deeper, they're going to do that. Don't use your jargon, overly trendy buzzwords, that kind of thing. Your prospect doesn't want to feel that they're out of the loop. You don't want them to be too afraid to ask for clarification. So if you can be as simple in languaging as you can, remember to mirror their language. It's not the way you want to describe it, right? It's the way they describe it. So sleep better at night instead of just have a better lifestyle. All right. Don't know if anybody wants to type any questions in the comments that I can help you with, but that was a quick overview since I didn't get the slides to work. But just always think about how your message comes across. And if you're not sure how to describe what it is you do, ask your clients, ask your colleagues to describe what it is you do. That may give you some great insight on words to use, what they're thinking, how they perceive what you do. And if it's way off, now you've got a chance to kind of readjust that to make sure that your language is mirroring what your prospects are doing. Ask your past clients, what was the benefits? If you can't really identify what benefits are on your own, ask your past clients, what was the best part? What did you get out of this? And so those outcomes that they got may be much different than you thought of what that would be. So I have left a link in the information at the top if you would like to pop over. I have an 8-part mini-series. It's just a short video email each day for 8 days that goes all the way through your marketing message to help you, again, goes a little deeper in some of this, and it talks about some of the psychological triggers and how you can speak to those in your content. And I also do offer what's called a copy makeover. We will do an audit of either a website page or a squeeze page, that type of thing, so that we can kind of look at it from that user experience perspective. Make sure that your SEO is good, that your message is strong, that we've made it narrow, that we've made it clear. And if you are interested in that too, you can pop over to my website at ASAP Writing Services. So once again, this is Susan Sparks. My company is ASAP Writing Services. I provide copywriting and web content, marketing content for lead generation, email drip campaigns, websites. And I'd love to talk to anybody that has questions and wants to go a little bit deeper. So thank you. Everybody stay safe and healthy, and we'll talk again soon.